We focus on creating the culture, not the credit. It is embedded in the root. My name is Adan Bean. I do spoken word, I do hip hop. The entire world knows where to go if and when they want the juice. Whether behind the pen, the brush, or the lens, they come to Atlanta when they want the realness. We have gathered in this place, all unfamiliar and yet family, all distant but unified. This is an art church service invocation that has been designed for you and I. This has been written to the tune of Dirty South, to Goody Mob's Fly Away, to a midnight train to Georgia. This is a companion piece written by Pearl Clegg. Long before, Andre 3000 told a crowd in New York that the South has got something to say, you could hear our cries rise from deep within that red clay. This has been directed by Kenny Leon, choreographed by T. Lang or Gawaiian Mata drums squalling, captured on canvas by Dr. Fahamu Peku or Charmaine Minifield or Fabian Williams. This city is a siren for the arts, and so many of us have answered its calling. This is all okra and sweet tea, banana pudding and peach trees. We provide the soundtrack to any function, even if that junction is spaghetti. Confederacy, Memorial Mountains, and mayors named Dre or Keisha. Also a mayor named John who would strum his guitar in front of those Eddie's attic bleachers. Home of our king, the preacher, the thinker, the dreamer, his remarkable civil rights legacy. We even Habitat for Humanity, right? Like we peanut farmered the presidency. This was produced using a 30% film tax incentive. This has been lemon pepper wetted, waffle housed at every exit. Home of the forever inventive, it is a simple, glaring fact that our content has been soaked in the cuisines at Busy Bees and The Beautiful and Mary Mac's and Fat Mats and Miss Ann's Snack Bar, no counterlean. And this was actually constructed during a 3-hour wait in line at Slutty Vegan. But see, when a city that is too busy to hate somehow starts to find the time, when gentrification can become an act of violence and no one is listening to the victims of the crime, where you can judge a society by how it treats its least, as it is often said, I have seen stranger things here than The Walking Dead. We are a city experiencing growing pains, expansion, and border shifts. Will court companies like Amazon or law enforcement, and ironically, be willing to destroy a forest in order to headquarter them? But see, try as they might, they cannot condo our culture to death. They cannot beltline our brilliance. Marie Kondo, our indigent, unhoused community that is tidy up the house list for some 2019 Super Bowl and then try to leverage our current identity for some future soul. Hell no. It's ATL, ho. Home of the artisan and the educator, the athlete, the author, the painter, the innovator, the culinary chef and the curator, the politician, the preacher, the grassroots activist, the organizer, the leader, the scientist, the celebrity, the farmer, the speaker. It's also home of those kids fundraising, but you're not really sure if they're part of a team, but they're at every stoplight and off-ramp, right? This is for every native Grady baby. This is for all of us transplants. This is Olympics 96, LaFace Records, So-So Def Billboards, Funk Jazz Cafe. Back when Apache Cafe was yin yang, even then, my friend, we did the damn thing. See, Atlanta truly influences everything. They branded it so you don't forget it, because see, we focus on creating the culture, not the credit. It is embedded in the root. We do the work. They pluck the fruit, but the entire world knows where to go if and when they want the juice, the sauce. We are the dispatchers of the drip, the high priest of the hip. Whether behind the pen, the brush, or the lens, they come to Atlanta when they want the realness. There's something about this place that makes it safe for the creative endeavor. It is fertile soil for the imaginative and the experimental. It honors the efforts. We house Hammonds and Wonderlands and Hollyweirds and Cities of Ink and Stanconias. We not at all New York. We not trying to be California. We south of the north, but yet we north of the south. We are a city out of nowhere that is everywhere. Just look around. Our DNA has made its way to every nook, cranny, corner, marketing meeting, boardroom, and block. We've been had something to say. And the entire world has been watching and listening, whether they admit it or not. The South got something to say. Greetings. My name is Adan Bean, and joining me on this endeavor is my partner in crime, DJ Ope Diggy, who you saw just now on the saxophone. That piece right there is entitled, it's a spoken word piece called The South Got Something to Say. And I thought it would be fitting to kind of begin with that, just to kind of set the table, set the stage, because it's my love letter to this incredibly influential city that has had a remarkable impact on me. You hear a lot of me like kind of name checking particular visual artists or dancers or directors, also like cuisine, like our food as well. Like I wanted to touch on the restaurants. Some did not make it through COVID and whatnot, but I just kind of wanted to immortalize them perhaps in this piece. And I thought that it was just a good opportunity to kind of speak to all of these areas of culture that have impacted me, but also kind of create that important, necessary vibrancy that attracts so many people to this city and ultimately changes us. And so I just, that's, as I said, kind of a love letter, but also anything you love, right, it does not mean that it doesn't come with standards and accountability. So there's criticisms as well, right? So I wanted to also talk to the fact that there's some things that we do that are happening that aren't cool, right? Like there's just the wealth inequality, housing injustice, people being priced out of their homes, out of neighborhoods, and it's ultimately changing the character. And so I wanted to speak to that. I wanted to speak to the issue of Cop City, and so there's a line in there that has kind of been updated and revamped, because when I wrote it, it didn't have that in there. And so, yeah, it's kind of a living text that I like to update as necessary. So no need to drag that further, but yeah, that is called The South Got Something to Say. Hopefully you found something in there that resonated with you, and you found a love for the city in it there. As I said, my name is Adan Bean. I do spoken word, I do hip hop. And I'm excited about this next tune we're about to get into called Curb Appeal, yeah? That's what that's called. Yeah, let's go. Oh, Diggy. This is about the unhoused. Yo, yo. Be as it may, home of the castaway. The city whispers, we fast and pray. The sinner Saturday, the saints of the latter day. From the fabulous Fox, we like a block away. Cortland and Pine, where misfortunes align. The great disparity between your portion and mine. Such a morbid design, but of course with the time that passes, it has to start warping our mind. This familiar ugly, the foreign beauty. Amidst these red line neighborhoods, you'll find a ruby. There are hidden gems in plain sight. In this vicious world, Rufus Wainwright, limboing the poverty line, your life can become a crime. Panhandle for dollar signs, feeding me can get you fine. Medicate with free base or some kind of wine. There's missing rungs on that ladder to success that they want us to climb.
Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest.
I don't do handouts, I do not carry cash. I get you next time, this is all I have. All those declines to help, they ring hella hollow. A hungry belly with only pride to swallow. Pebbles on the street leave impressions on my cheek. Today's newspaper serve as tonight's bed sheet. I'm trying to make ends meet, locked in a dead heat. A survivor, but yet I'm racing with these lead feet. But it is just as well. The streets of Pratt and Bell, prior to heaven, but after hell. Poverty's paradise, the vagrant Valhalla. Somewhere between the Inshallah and the Our Father, the park is my kitchen. My living room's a bridge. My bed is a bench and the trash can is my fridge. Midtown, Fourth Ward, Southwest, too strong. The scabs of the city been picked at for too long.
Foxes have holes and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest.
The poverty-stricken, the inadequate, the indigent, the hapless, the penniless, the destitute. The only difference is these guys rock a tie and suit. Corporate camouflage, the three-car garage, the McMansion expansion, the mirage, the 5 bedrooms, the curb appeal, the class struggle. The economy will commonly burst your housing bubble. The suburban sprawl, the gaudy high-rises, lock in the mortgage rate for they increase the prices. Empty developments and vacant subdivisions. CeeLo told you that that gate could become a prison. Listen, nothing's wrong if you and yours want a lawn, but a castle becomes a hassle if that's where your heart is drawn. A house ain't a home once the bank forecloses and you listen. A roof can sometimes expose you.
Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, and birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest. Foxes have holes, birds have nests. The Son of Man has no place where he can rest.
We can rest. We wanna rest. Let's rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That right there was, as I said, it was called Curb Appeal. It's a song actually comes out of this idea of dealing with just housing inequality, but ultimately, like the first 2 verses really deal with the unhoused community. Atlanta, much like a lot of places in this nation, are dealing with a huge just homeless and unhoused population. And so these people have stories. These people have an entire are part of communities in ways. And so I wanted to write something that kind of spoke to that idea of curb appeal. Also, a little bit of it came out of the housing bubble, and back in like 2000 and I don't remember that was 2007, 2009. And so I just want to talk, like, that third verse, it was kind of a switch to say that, like, you have these people who are dealing with being indigent and what have you, and I wanted to talk about kind of the soullessness around the desire of more and kind of the expansion and all the push around, like, McMansions, which were a huge thing in the late aughts in that way. So So yeah, that's the kind of the sourcing behind that. And I was really grateful to be able to partner with some organizations to shoot a documentary that kind of dealt with that idea of people who are housing insecure. And yeah, it's kind of just something that is really near and dear to my heart. So yeah, it's called Curb Appeal. That's where that comes out of. So when I think about like the kind of the value and worth of spoken word, it's something that um, is a fundamental building block to communication. Um, Spoken word is obviously it is performance poetry. So it's something that is not meant to live on a page, but it's meant to be living. It's meant to be interactive. It's meant to be brought to the people. And so there's just this long tradition, I think, that you kind of see kind of where it bubbled up, I think, a little bit in pop culture, maybe in like the late 90s where, but it has continued to thrive in ways in which you see competitive slams all over the country. But also beyond that, to me, I come at it as an MC, right? Like my first contact and my first idea around poetry really came out of me studying rappers who impacted me. And so when I found myself kind of in between recording albums, I found myself connecting to poets and going to open mics because it stretched the way that I wrote. It stretched the way that it taught me to think about approaching songwriting. And so spoken word is really vibrant and continuing now in the city. On Sundays, you can go to, I think Apache still exists, but in a different location now. You can go there. On Tuesdays, you can go to spots in East Atlanta. Wednesday, there's pretty much an open mic every single day of the week that you can attend. And there's vibrant communities that are keeping the art alive, whether that be through workshops, whether that be through performance with bands, sometimes just a cappella, even bringing it to the street. So yeah, spoken word is just something that I think gives me this, it enables me to kind of leverage perspective in a way where I can put my words, even without music, and see if they still hold up. And so that's what I ultimately value about this work that I do. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a writer, and so I really appreciate all forms that I'm able to do that in. So the thing that I think is incredible about the city of Atlanta when it comes to music, when it comes to poetry, when it comes to honestly any discipline of the arts is that I have a good friend who always says this, George Supano, who always says like, we'd be doing this even if you weren't watching. And that's ultimately like what you see here in Atlanta is that no matter if venues come or go or scenes shift and change, there's always this kind of cauldron in which musicians and poets and artists are always kind of working, always kind of collaborating. And I think even coming out of the pandemic, what you saw is kind of a restructuring and a reorganizing of that, but it still persisted, it still continued. And I think that will never ultimately change when it comes to Atlanta. We're constantly going to be a place where you can come to and be inspired and ultimately be part of that kind of conduit in which you inspire someone else to continue. I think about mentors who have become friends who inspired me along my way. And I have little homies coming up who I do the same thing for in this way. And so, yeah, I think the other piece that I think is really important is that there's not a lot of like segmentation as well. Like you will see, it is nothing to go to a show and see a hip hop artist, a trap rapper, with a rock band, with someone who is playing jazz or polka and spoken word. Like it's all going to be under the same house, under the same roof. And I think that that's just speaks to the remarkable diversity of this city, the diversity of taste, and the ability to kind of give license for people to live authentically themselves. And so that's what I value the most about the city of Atlanta. That's what we got. So the name of this next tune we're gonna do is called Pockets, and it's something we actually haven't released yet. I think we need to work on that. But yeah, it's a tune called Pockets. It came out of a very interesting place. One, it's featuring really talented homie named Bubby who was singing the chorus. But the idea of Pockets really came out of a a deep idea and then went to a lighter space. But just there's the musician idea of just staying in the pocket, right? It's you finding your groove in life and essentially kind of rocking with that and keeping that move. And I felt that the beat had its own kind of pocket to stick into. I think the kind of deeper context of it all, though, is to say that like when Dr. King, when it was assassinated, it was found that he had in his suit coat, he had a sermon that he was looking to deliver called "Why America's Going to Hell." It was also said that when obviously when Trayvon Martin was killed, he was found with Skittles and iced tea, and those were kind of the remnants that were left with him. It's even said that Basquiat had 2 tickets to see Run DMC when he was found overdosed. And I just think that it was kind of a fascinating idea around like, what are we, when we leave this earth, like what was left with us? What were we carrying with us? What were kind of dreams and hopes and things that we wanted to see accomplished and maybe did not get accomplished? And so that's kind of like the added layer to this idea of pockets, like what am I carrying and what can I let go of? And so yeah, this is actually, sounds deep, but it's actually kind of lighthearted song. So let's just get into the groove. Let's do it. Yeah. Again, it's on his pockets. Bubby on the hook, DJ Ope Diggy on the track. Adan Bean.
What you reaching for? Why you need to reach? Yeah. Could you please get the hell up off of me? Yeah. Keep your eyes on your own paper. You'll be way out of pocket, call them bad drama. I'm just trying to keep my beat this month, don't need no heater. Why you always in your poopy? Keep on trying to preach. I'm just trying to keep my beat this month, don't need no heater. Always hanging with the dogs, you got all the fees.
You can feel the tempo shift. You can feel the highs and lows. Even if the plot thickens, listen, it got giant holes. Ride the road with its bumps. I suppose we'll take the lumps. Just because the teeth are gold doesn't mean that it's a front. Given what we know now, ATL to SoCal. Texas screwed if that's the mood. We can even slow it down. Jamming verse and chorus. Hit so hard you can't ignore us. Got an invoice from the ancestors saying to pay it forward. Best believe my steps is ordered. So whenever I feel cornered, I'm a performer. The cymbals get to crashing like Brandy Norwood. Somewhere between a quarter water, cognac and an angry orchard. You want heat, I bring a scorcher. Look, I heard you want it warmer. In the pocket like gold tickets or Malcolm X tickets. Quarterbacks like Phil Rivers or politicians, big business. Listen, all things work together. Sunny or stormy weather, no go along to get along. We bopping like whatever. Hey.
What you reaching for? Why you need to reach? Yeah. Could you please get the hell up off of me?
Yeah.
Keep your eyes on your own paper. You be way out of pocket, call them bad drama. I'm just trying to keep my beat this month, don't need no heater.
That's right.
Why you always in your poopy? Keep on trying to preach. I'm just trying to keep my beat this month, don't need no heater. Always hanging with the dogs, you got all the fees.
You can feel the drum and bass. You can feel the kick and snare. Ask yourself if you like how me and mine is living there. We make sure we getting where. Any place we got to go, the pitch and tone is optimal. The groove we use methodical. The flow so nautical. We maritime the paradigm. Songs for the ride home. We going on the Black Star Line. You must be out half your mind, thinking I'ma stop a slouch. My Gullah folks know it's dope. The Geechees be like, here I'm out. Irish lift, they Guinness stouts. I've been about them raw raps. I'm making sure each song snaps and bell hooks. No cap, wing in a prayer. Lemon pepper wet, all flat. When breath becomes air, there's a life still beyond that. In all black, dressed in the skin God made me in. Damn if I apologize for this radiance, just take it in. Maybe then you'll realize you and yours is just as fly. When knife gets up, you can knuckle up and scream back. So am I.
What you reaching for? Why you need to reach? Could you please get the hell up off of me? Keep your eyes on your own paper. You be way out of pocket, call them bad drama.
That's right.
I'm just trying to keep my beat this month, don't need no heater. Why you always in your poopy? Keep on trying to preach. I'm just trying to keep my beat this month, don't need no heater. Always hanging with the dogs, you got all the fees.
Every man should try to learn before he dies what he's running from and to who and to why. Every man should try to learn before he dies what he's running from and to who and to why. So every man should try to learn before he dies what he's running from and to who and to why. Every man should try to learn before he dies what he's running from and to who. Yeah. again. My name is Adan Bean. That is DJ Oak Diggy on the ones and twos, on the production, and on the saxophone. This is Sounds Like ATL. Thank you so much for having us. We focus on creating the culture, not the credit. It is embedded in the root.
Is you in or you out? Your decision. Come and get it.
Black widow, black widow.
Some captives walking on that water and it's wet just like the sunny.
First date, first base. Why we in the club in the first place?
You are sitting alone in my room.
Willie Beeman, it ain't no stopping this. Shark in the water, I hustle harder.
You know the vibe, West Coast African, I know you wanna ride.
But I try to tell myself it ain't all bad. Try to tell myself that it ain't all bad. It's not healthy never being alone, no. It's not healthy that I'm staring at my phone. If you want the peaches, yeah. If you want the nectar.
Lay my piece, a bet on self against the odds. I wanna stay in my lane, I wanna open up my eyes.
Well, I don't need a summer screen to show me all those hopes and dreams.
Made in Georgia.
WABE.